And how many of you are gamers over here? Raise your hands. Okay, amazing. So I hope by the end of this talk, I'll be able to add some bit of value to you. I'm here to narrate on a very specific topic, that is video games. As I've been in this industry since the last decade, that is essentially everything that I know. So I'm here to talk about video games being an art form. I'll collect a few thoughts around why I think about it in such a fashion, as well as we'll see how video games are literally a collision of art and science. So, I've been playing games ever since I was a 3-year-old kid. I remember this sitting on my dad's lap way back in 1997 and being introduced to the world of computers and distinctly to one game called Doom. How many of you know about this game, the old Doom? Okay, I'm glad a handful of you know about this. That was the very first game that I played, and after that I started playing a lot of other games. I'm sure you guys have heard about Mario, Midtown Madness, Road Rash, and all. This fascination went on as a hobby till the point of time I stumbled across a game that is called as GTA Vice City. GTA Vice City fans, anyone? Okay, awesome. And this was a turning point in my personal life, which motivated me to eventually pursue a career in game development. But looking back, sometimes I wonder, how games have grown by leaps and bounds. There has been so much growth in this industry. Back in the day, we had simpler graphics and smaller games. And nowadays, we have got a wide variety of not just beautiful looking games, but also portable consoles and really good amount of hardware as well. So it has been a fascinating journey, and I've also got a chance to be lucky enough to be a part of this industry. Now, being in the gaming industry for almost a decade has made me experience some of the coolest advancements in the space. I have the unique advantage of looking at the gaming industry from two lenses. One is from a gamer's perspective, and second is from a game developer's perspective. Back in the initial days of my gaming journey, I recall playing games that were smaller in scope, having multiple hardware restrictions, and limited in terms of graphical capabilities as well. One small example I give over here, we have all played this Mario game, right? How many of you know that the clouds and grasses inside that game were actually the same images? It was just a color swap. So your grasses were green and your clouds were white. That's it. So game developers had to work with a lot of hardware and software restrictions because back in the day the memory sizes were also very small. So looking at this, it has made me really fascinated with all the advancement that have gone in this space. But now, due to the advancement of technology, we are able to experience hyper-realistic graphics. I remember this one distinct experience from my life. One fine afternoon, I was playing this game called God of War. God of War fans, make some noise. Okay. So I was playing this game, and my mom entered the room, and she suddenly asked me, "What movie are you watching?" Because the game looked so realistic. And I had to explain her that it is not a movie, it is actually a game that I was playing. And she was also surprised that how realistic these games can be. And anyway, now here we are in 2022. Lots of awesome next-gen titles coming out. Developers constantly pushing themselves to create better and better quality games. We also have not just game developers, but also the technology creators, such as your game engine developers, like your Unreal Engine and your Unity game engine, pushing the boundaries of actually being able to make tools that game developers can use to make hyper-realistic games. So this is like a really next big frontier for the gaming industry, and we are at the very beginning stages. So if anyone wants to start to pursue a career in game development, I would say this is the best time. The next thing that I want to touch upon is that games are a beautiful combination of art and science. Pick any video game that you've played, and each of them has a unique art style, right from your pixelated graphics to nowadays your hyper-realistic games. We've seen games improve in both visual quality and immersiveness by leaps and bounds. Today's video games are a literal gateway into living a completely different life. Anyone has heard of this game called No Man's Sky? No Man's Sky? Okay. Although it was not that well received in the market, but it also still allowed you to physically put your feet onto different planets, and that is something that you cannot really do in your real life. Obviously, you'll have to go through hyperspace travel, etc. But games allow you to build worlds and be a part of worlds that you can normally not visit. This also has a huge application in terms of your tourism. So imagine, sitting at your home and being able to experience the entire streets of New York City. That is something of a game that Grand Theft Auto 4 made possible. Perhaps one primary reason, which I personally think is that video games are not fully accepted as an art form, might be that this medium of entertainment is fairly recent and has only seen significant acceptance in the last decade or so. Whereas all the other art forms such as your music, your movies, have been around for centuries at least. We will soon be seeing game developers also being mentioned alongside great artists and movie makers, and they will go down in history for their pioneering work in engaging the human minds in ways that were simply not possible a few decades ago. If one were to understand the aspect of why video games are a collision of art and science, I would recommend that they would have to sit down and actually play some of these games. Some recommendations that I would like to make today are games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Ghosts of Tsushima, Grand Theft Auto 5, Uncharted 4, Assassin's Creed Origins, and more. Like the list is endless. I'm sure if you search the internet, you'll find more and more games. Nowadays, games like these are also available on your mobile platform. Even on your mobile phone, you can play hyper-realistic games, and the game does not have to look realistic in order for you to enjoy it. As the famous saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. In the same fashion, never judge a game by its graphics. Now, now talking about art side, that is simply our imagination. But the way that all of this is taking shape is thanks to science. Gone are the days when you had to wait long hours for processing data. A lot of us have gone through those traumatic days of when data transfers and even internet speeds were extremely slow. Nowadays, computing speeds are blazing fast, and as we saw in the earlier talk, right, a supercomputer or a quantum computer is something that we already have as an access inside our living room or our homes. So that problem is largely being solved. A gaming computer nowadays has more processing power than a supercomputer of the 90s. This has enabled significant advancements in this space. Processing graphics and making them look gorgeous takes a lot of computing power, and over the years, computers have become more and more efficient at doing this to deliver us a wide variety of colors in sharp detail while also maintaining performance factors. So back in the day, if you remember, there were these games called as 16-bit games or 32-bit games. What that literally meant was you had access to only 16 or 32 colors. Okay. Nowadays, you can see like there are millions and millions of colors going ahead on your screen, and that is what has made it possible for your games to look very much realistic. Now, a video game does not have to just look good, but it also has to play good and fast. Performance issues hamper the overall immersion as well. Now, if a game constantly lags, now that would be really frustrating, right? There has been a lot of research that has gone into this field that has made it possible for us to experience a seamless gameplay and feel as though we are a part of that world. Now, talking about the advancements in the semiconductor space, the work that Intel and AMD and all of these companies have done over the years, that has really pushed forward our overall immersion in terms of games. I firmly believe, without a shadow of doubt, that game development will soon be recognized as an art form itself, which is a message, by the way, that I would like to deliver through this TEDx platform. I say so with my own experience of almost a decade in the space, having worked on over 150 plus games over the last few years, and currently we are developing this game based on the city of Mumbai, titled Mumbai Gullies. As we set ourselves onto this journey of creating a beautiful looking game, we keep on pushing the boundaries of technology and keep on upgrading ourselves. The overall pipeline of actually making a game from scratch is also extremely challenging, and it varies from game to game. And the most amazing as well as the frustrating part is you never know what will work. Back in 2013, there was this game which was extremely frustrating to play. People lost their phones, they smashed their phones because they were not able to read their own high score. And this game was not at all popular for almost a year. It was launched on the App Store, but nobody noticed it. One fine day, a very popular content creator by the name PewDiePie created a video titled "Do Not Play This Game," and right after that, everyone started playing that game. Overnight, the game started seeing millions and millions of downloads, and at its peak, this game was earning almost $50,000 a day. That's almost like, if you look at it from that currency perspective, it's about 30 lakh rupees a day. The game is none other than Flappy Bird. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about this game. The reason why I bring Flappy Bird as an example is the next example I'm going to talk about is a really, extremely realistic game. that is Elder Scrolls 5. At the same time, we also had cutting-edge graphics, and they are catching up on VR. I remember playing Elder Scrolls 5 with a couple of my friends, and this is an action role-playing video game developed by Bethesda Studios. And I always used to wonder how it would feel if this game was a VR game. I even joked about it casually in my conversation with a few friends with whom I had started playing this game, that if at all this game comes out on VR, we're probably never coming out of this game. The game eventually did come out of VR, and thankfully I didn't start playing it in this game. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I'd be busy playing as a Nord or a Dark Hill rather than giving this talk. As quoted by Mr. Chris Mills in a Time article, video games are also the only art form of media that allows for personalization of experience, of artistic experience, while still retaining the authority of the artist. Now, this is an era of personalization. We have seen games allowing you to create your own avatars and even transcend your own self into the virtual world. You can literally immerse yourself not only just in front of a flat screen, but be a part of an entire 360-degree experience inside a virtual reality headset such as a Oculus, your HTC Vive, or even your Meta Quest 2. Hardware and software both have advanced so much that we are literally approaching a scenario as shown in the movie Ready Player One. Anyone seen that movie, Ready Player One? Okay. Now, if you haven't watched that movie, I would highly recommend you to take a look at that movie. It's a very interesting take on how the world would end up being if we all just entered into virtual simulation. While certainly as a concept, it sounds cool as well as horrifying. We are moving towards the next frontier of technological advancements, and things are bound to move forward rapidly while disrupting in many industries. Video games have enabled us not only to dream, but have also helped us shape up and teach the next generation. Not only this, they have also enabled us to create training environments. There are actual simulators to teach some real-life skills. Take, for example, your Microsoft Flight Simulator game. That is a near perfect example of a game that can actually teach you how to drive an airplane. Like this, there are tons of applications of games, and they are only improving with time. There will be a point of time in our life wherein everything will be gamified. And look around, everything around us is almost very much gamified in general. Think of it this way, every quantifiable measurement that you have around you is a literal score that you carry around with you. Take for instance your bank balance as a measure of how wealthy you are. The money you carry with you as your bank balance is a literal score of what you can actually afford to buy. This slight digression of thoughts around the current and future of gaming was necessary to put things into perspective of how advanced gaming has become, and it's fascinating to see how this will pan out in the future. Keeping all of these things in mind, certainly video games as an art form have drastically improved, and with the numerous advancements in research in this field, we will see video games being an inseparable part of our daily lives. They've evolved from a mere source of entertainment to almost a way of life. Those are my 2 cents on video games as a whole, being a collision of art and science. I thank you all for allowing me to present my thoughts on this platform, and I hope my talk was useful. Thank you.